Hey guys, welcome back to another The Unofficial A&R video, and today I want to talk about Megan Thee Stallion's new album, Traumazine. This is Megan's second studio album following Good News, a project which I would say had more of a hip-hop nature to it, more so focusing on sex positivity, confidence, and basically not taking any crap from men. On Traumazine, Megan very much stays on topic here, however she sounds more fed up and exasperated, well at least for the first half of the LP anyway. You know when you play off criticism as a joke at first, but then because people keep criticizing you, you finally lash out and decide that it's not a joke anymore. That's what Megan does here. The first thing that caught my eye about this album was the album cover, to which it includes 3 faces of Megan. My interpretation of this is that the middle face obviously portrays the controlled demeanour she has to display to the public, whilst the faces on the sides show more of a devil and angel archetype, more than likely showing how Megan really feels inside despite trying to stay composed, sometimes wanting to release her anger and give people a piece of her mind, but also potentially being very pensive about how the public may view her, or perhaps about what's going on in her personal life. And this isn't far off in terms of the themes present on this project. The album focuses on Megan's struggles in the music industry, finding her way after losing her mother specifically, and public criticism, specifically criticism to do with Megan's public image and personal life. The beats on here still stay true to Meg's comfort zone of hip-hop. It boasts a multitude of southern features from Key Glock, Pooh Shiesty, Lil Kiki, Sauce Walker, Big Pokey, and as a southern girl herself, I've always thought that features like these were more of Megan's personal comfort zone before she blew up, given that one of her biggest influences is the late Pimp C and just southern hip-hop in general, in comparison to Good News, which featured more worldwide household names such as DaBaby, Beyonce, SZA. Traumazine is not as commercial as Good News, and probably not nearly half as marketable given how introspective and cutting some of these songs can be. Given that, let's get into the track list. The album starts off with NDA. It has a very solemn piano intro which immediately gives you the impression that Megan is about to give out some very punchy lines, very similar to the Dreams and Nightmares intro by Meek Mill, only it's not as alarming. The instrumental is very horrorcore inspired. Megan blurts out a plethora of what I can only describe as Instagram captionable lyrics such as "niggas with the money to their ear don't attract me," "body banging, I ain't have to let the doctor cut me," "I walk in and bitches grab their nigga, that's a compliment," cause you know in his head he wanna spread me like a condiment. Megan also takes a few jabs at what I can only assume are her ex-friends on this track, threatening to sue anyone who betrays her. There's a slight juxtaposition in her lyrics and flow, as even though some of her lyrics are very funny and light-hearted, the delivery is serious, especially when she appears to be dissing people on this track. Her flow is unwavering, sure-footed, and full of angst, to say the least. Megan maintains this flow on Ungrateful, which is produced by one of my favorite producers, Bandplay, and features Key Glock. This track is a lot slower paced, and seems to focus more on Megan dissing any women who are either jealous of her, or like the title says, women who are ungrateful given what she's done for them. Key Glock complements Megan very well here. I definitely feel like he could replace DaBaby as Megan's quote-unquote work husband. Key Glock and Bandplay have collaborated like a million times, so it's really not a surprise that he sounds great over this. I do feel like he kinda goes off topic a little bit, but this is definitely one of the best songs on the entire LP regardless. Moving on to Not Nice. This has a classic 90s inspired beat. Whoever produced this definitely had Biggie in mind, and Megan probably thought the same given her "bitch I'm black, Biggie Biggie black" line. Not Nice presents some hard-hitting disses to certain people, given how intrusive and personal some of these lyrics are. "Bitch, I kept your bills paid. You were sick, I paid for your surgery. If a nigga ain't taller than me in my heels, then he could never play me. You ain't worth the crack your mama used to smoke, bitch. A lot of rappers mad cause I never gave them sex." Oof, and that's just a handful of them. This is probably Megan's most unfriendly song I've ever heard from her. However, this changes when we go into Budget featuring Latto. Here we're back in the hip-hop genre. Megan lightens the mood slightly with the return of her usual flirtatious lyrics. Latto matches Megan's energy and potentially even exceeds it, given how much she changes her flow in her verse. I do hear a bit of Nicki Minaj influence in her verse. I do like this song, but I do feel like it should have been on Good News, just because it doesn't quite match the intensity of the first couple of songs on the LP, which are moody and vengeful. But this is where the album starts to go a little awry. Megan has the very random but empowering deep house hit, Her, which cuts through a lot of the tension. It's very much feeding into the house house craze that's currently going on right now. Really reminds me of Luxury by Azealia Banks. It's definitely a club hit, oozing with self-confidence, and is probably Megan's most commercially viable track on the album. Jumping ahead to Miss Nasty, which gives me a very nostalgic feeling because it's very Tina Snow, which is probably my favorite project from Meg. It's sexy, the instrumental sounds like it has a little bit of 80s influence, it's fun. I think it has great potential to be a very loved single. Consistency featuring Jhene Aiko has a similar vibe. Jhene absolutely demolishes her chorus, literally sounding like an angel from the high heavens. It's really smooth as well, which mellows out the album a little bit. Rewind to some less flattering album cuts like Gift and a Curse, which presents us with a lot more of Megan's humorous bad bitch lines. However, this is offset by what I can only describe as a 5-year-old trying to find their way around some piano keys on the instrumental. Despite liking the lyrics of the song a lot, I'm not as big of a fan of the beat. I share the same sentiment when it comes to Who Me featuring Pooh Shiesty, only my dislike for the beat extends to both Megan and Pooh Shiesty's verses. Megan drops her standards here, her lyrics are very weak, Pooh Shiesty stumbles repeatedly trying to find a consistent flow, and the song is just uninspiring. It sounds like it wants to be Movie featuring Lil Durk, only it doesn't have half the charisma or energy. Red Wine is graphic. If I had to choose between Red Wine and Consistency for which one should be on the album, I would say Consistency outdoes it by miles. Given how graphic the lyrics are in Megan's verses, I just feel like the chorus is very cheesy and could have been written better. The word yeah makes up 70% of the chorus itself, and I feel like she ran out of things to say towards the end of the song. Scary featuring Rico Nasty is a cute bop, nothing spectacular or terrible about the song. I like Megan's Halloween-inspired lyrics for her chorus, the spooky instrumental too. Rico Nasty is a good choice for a feature on this song, I think she fits it very well. I can imagine this song potentially having a Halloween-inspired music video that maybe Megan drops on Halloween. Then we start to turn it up a notch in terms of the intensity of the subject matter when we come to Anxiety, which has some of my favorite lyrics from Megan. She opens up about wanting to speak to her late mother, struggling with public perception, and losing friends. My only problem with this song is that the beat doesn't match how great the lyrics are. It's got this strange yodeling sample, and it's very up-tempo given the seriousness of the subject matter. You don't know if you should be dancing to this or if you should be sat down with your head in your hands in deep thought. I would have preferred for Meg to have had a more serious beat for this, and I would have liked to have heard her delve into the topic a little bit more. Given how up-tempo it is, it gives the impression that she's not quite comfortable enough to show her vulnerability when it comes to talking about stuff like the aftermath of losing her parents and the effect that it had on her, which you can't really blame Megan for, as that is her own personal trauma. This is followed by Flip Flop, which in my opinion is a metaphor for the entire song. In the first half of the song, Megan explores her vulnerability when it comes to feeling lonely in her career and missing her parents, but in the second half of the song, Megan starts talking about other things. I'm not too crazy about the surface level chorus either, it feels like she constructed it in about 30 seconds. Star is just a no. Not even Lucky Day could save that song. I just don't know why it's there. It's not even a good pop song. I barely have anything positive to say about it besides it's perhaps good for a bathroom break, I guess. However, I do have positive things to say about PRESSURELICIOUS. This beat suits Megan more than well. The hard-hitting bass, quirky lyrics, and nice chorus from Meg is everything. My only critique is that I think Pooh Shiesty or Lil Durk would have sounded way better than Future on this song, because you can literally hear the fact that they didn't record this song together in the same studio at the same time. Meg and Future sound very independent from one another, and Megan is quite frankly running lyrical rings around Future to the point where it's actually unfair. Plan B is one of Megan's best songs. The beat is very reminiscent of Who Shot Ya by Biggie, only it's slower in pace. She's imposing, it's big on no nonsense, her lyrics are very tongue-in-cheek, he's submerged in it like a baptism, my box is the most expensive meal you'll ever eat. Definitely one of the better cuts from the album. Southside Royalty is very sure-footed with appearances from Sauce Walka and veterans like like Lil Kiki and Big Pokey. It's got that classic southern hip hop, knocking 808s, heavy instrumental. I've been waiting for Megan to release something like this featuring rappers from Texas for a while, and I'm happy to say that this song doesn't disappoint. It's not your typical hip hop song from Meg, it's homegrown and a nod to Megan's influences. To be completely honest, I would have been happy for Megan's album to finish on Southside Freestyle because I feel like it's a very fitting closing anthem. However, she instead decides to end it on Sweetest Pie, which doesn't match the energy of the album at all. It's almost like being the happiest person in a room full of people who are angry. It's a little awkward, a bit tone deaf given the themes of the project. I don't know if Megan's record label just decided to put it on there for whatever commercial reasoning they may have, but it really wasn't necessary. And it's funny because coincidentally, the songs which are clearly pop cheapen the title of the album. And just in my personal opinion, as a huge Megan Thee Stallion fan who's watched her go from having 2 songs on Spotify to an entire catalogue, when it comes to the type of music I like to hear from Meg, it proves that pop Megan will never be my favourite type of Megan to ever listen to. I will take house Megan over pop Megan any day. All in all, I think this album is on the right track to the classic 2018 Megan Thee Stallion that a lot of people know and love. I definitely prefer this project to Good News just because Megan is very much in her lyrical bag for this era as opposed to her commercial bag, which I feel like she was in last era. The album has a good mix of personal subject matter, sexual flair, and hip hop. I do feel like Megan should have kept up the angst, however, as after the first half of the album, it kinda just develops a mind of its own and seems to go off topic. A bit directionless at times, with some very weak and patchy areas, but I would definitely say that out of Megan's recent releases, I'd probably revisit this project for sure. Altogether, this album gets a 6.5 from me. Not her best, but definitely not her worst. But what it does prove is that Megan has bags of potential regardless of becoming a huge commercial artist, and she's still driven. She hasn't completely changed, but maybe she could improve the quality of her construction when it comes to venturing out into other genres. Anyway guys, that's all from me. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.